So this is our How to Combine Computer Science with Other Interests event, and it's hosted by Lookup. So today we're going to be just going over like a quick introduction to Lookup and what we do. Skylar and Jet are going to be speaking about their respective jobs, and at the end we're just going to do a quick Q&A. So what is Lookup? So after observing how middle and high school students struggle to find relevant opportunities and information concerning the computer science and engineering fields, Lookup was created to help out students who are looking for career guidance and other additional information. So we strive to give students the access to the resources they need in the most convenient way possible, and to inspire students to learn about and pursue their interests in computer science and engineering. So on our website, we have a lot of different resources. We have articles, we have mini courses, we send out newsletters, and we hold events and workshops like this one.
Alright, so I'll get started. Hey everyone, I'm Skylar. I'm going to be giving a presentation about the intersections between computer science and design. So let's get into it. We can go on to the next slide. So quick introduction to me. I'm studying computer science at Queens College. I just finished my freshman year and will be going to the sophomore year. And I'm currently a part of the TNT program through Microsoft and Cyborg Mobile, aka the New Techs, where the students are new technology interns who basically focus on software engineering, product management, design, and just kind of a combination of all those to create a project at the end of the experience. So last week is my last week. Well, the next week is my last week, unfortunately, because it's been super fun, so it went by really fast. And I also make YouTube videos on my journey through tech and design. I can send a link to my YouTube channel. Right now, you'll actually see a day in the life video coming soon next week, probably on Tuesday. So I can send the link here right now. Check it out. It's probably not what you might expect. It's actually very like meme content. Like I'm doing a Microsoft Trap remix like for the next video, so lots of Minecraft outfits, and that's what I do for the rest of the videos. But yeah, that's a little intro to me, and we can go to the next slide. Alright, so before we get into just the fundamentals of computer science and design, things like that, this is a little bit about my tech journey overall. So I did my first hackathon in 2019, so that was sophomore year. But I actually stopped coding for 2 years after that, and here's the reason why. I actually have been touch typing my entire life with only 2 fingers while looking down at the keyboard. So I didn't feel comfortable when I was coding. I was like, I'm never gonna code again. Like this is horrible. So I just stopped coding for 2 years. But I liked the hackathon, but it was the me problem, right? So then 2 years later, it was the summer before college started, and I was like, okay, that's the weirdest reason to not code because you're not typing with all 10 fingers. So I was like, okay, what do I do about this? I went on typing.com. For every day for a month, I grinded out for 2 hours. Yes, the elementary school touch typing website. So I did that, and eventually I got to 20 words per minute, or like 10 words per minute or something, and it was like really bad. But then I was just like, okay, it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna learn how to code, so I just look up YouTube videos, learn how to code, and then I did my first hackathon after 2 years in September 2021 when I first started college, and it was really fun. Like I really meshed well with this other girl who was into backend and I was into front end, and then I did another hackathon like 2 months later, and that was my first hackathon win. This was through my college, and then after that, I landed my first software engineering internship at Bitly, and that's what prompted me to start my YouTube channel because I did a day in the life. And then now we're here. I'm currently interning at Microsoft and Cyborg Mobile, and I never would have imagined like after like 3 years ago, I didn't even know how to type properly. So yeah, definitely, yeah, it just shows a lot can change in a year or even a few months if you just push yourself really to any goal and just keep on being consistent with it. So yeah, we can go into the next slide. All right, so this is more into like the design part. So I don't know if anyone here is like familiar with like the whole concept. Like, have you ever gone to a door, right, and you don't even know if you should push or pull it? Like, has anyone gone to that situation? I don't know, type in the chat or like give some nods. I know, I don't know, but yeah, I see Sejal nodding. Yeah, I've run into that so many times before, and the reason why it's like this, it's like when you push a door, but it's like actually supposed to be pulled, it's like, oh my god, it's my fault, oh, I'm so stupid. It's not your fault at all. It's actually the flawed design. So the design is, this design flaw is actually called Norman doors. And Norman doors was a concept created by Don Norman, who's the author of Design of Everyday Things, which is the first UX design book that I've read. And it's very interesting because it's like, it just shows that UX is not just in digital products, not just in websites, but also everywhere around us. So how you can explore these fields more if you're interested in these types of problems, we can go to the next slide, is like exploring these different types of fields. So I'm actually going to share a link in the chat that explains these disciplines more. But if you're really interested in like, in general, like people and just making sure that, you know, they don't run into problems in like their everyday things, that everyday products that they use, design may be for you, like being interested in like user pain points and like that whole thing with the Norman doors. Like if you want to know how to solve that, that might be a sign that that type of fields could be right for you. So I'm gonna like just quickly send this Medium article. It's like a long link. I don't know why, but yeah, those are the different types of like terminologies within like design and CS. But just to kind of give an overview on the slides, front-end engineering is more like when you have design, but you want to start like implementing it into the actual code. So let's just say you have a Figma prototype, and now you want to put this into action. You want to make this your personal website. That's front-end engineering, basically, and you're doing that for like software products, and you're also integrating things like APIs, which help you just like retrieve information and like do certain actions, perform certain actions from this like one foundation. And then you have UI UX design, is when you actually want to do some research, interviewing users, like figuring out their pain points, and then from there, like trying to figure out, you know, what color should the button be in order to make the user have the best experience possible. So that's kind of what it is. And then human-computer interaction is more like, you can get like degrees in this. I think like University of Washington has this program where like you just study the interaction between humans and computers, and that's like really integral to design too. And then same thing with for human-centered design, it's more like a process. But all of these types of fields are things that you should really look into if you're interested in just not just coding, but also the people part of tech. And yeah, I feel like that's what designers are. It's just like you're designing for people, not for products. And yeah, that's a really interesting part about, you know, the merging between the two. So what we can do is I can take over, if that's okay, for like the next few slides, because I'm going to show some cool stuff on some resources here. So let me share my screen. Okay, I'll just share my entire screen. That's all right. Yeah, so I was looking up the company there. Okay, so now I'm just going to share some like resources to learn UI design. So this first one is a document that I usually present when I'm hosting workshops. I know that, okay, so right now I'm not hosting a Figma workshop, but for sure, like you can look at this one that I usually send. I'll actually send it in the chat right now, but it's this one. And it's basically a document of different resources that you can use to learn Figma, which is a design prototyping tool that essentially helps you design anything. Like if you want to design an app or a website, or you want to design a social media post or a slide deck or something like that, this like pretty much gives you, like Figma in general gives you everything you need to be able to design anything. Like I literally use it for my YouTube thumbnails and stuff like that. Oh, also another thing I want to mention is this was like the first UX design book that I've ever read, and it's really opened my eyes up to design in general. So if you're interested, this is like the book, but I'm sure there's like a free PDF copy. If you just look up design everyday things, free PDF. There's an online version for everything nowadays. But yeah, this is basically the like document that I use. You can like use these channels. Agent Smart's really good if you want the Figma thing. And yeah, that's basically it. And just to show you like what Figma can actually do, I'm going to show you right now the personal website that I designed using Figma. And I designed it in my video here. So I'm going to do a quick plug, but this is the, I'll send a link to this if you want to actually kind of walk through of how I designed my personal website and then coded it. There's that. But this is what you can design. So I started off with this first iteration, right? And just checking the time. And then I was like, no, I don't really like it. It's too basic. It's too bland. So I decided to do this type of version, right? And then I was like, no, I don't like it because when I'm thinking about the user, like we're looking through this prototype, right? And it's really annoying to the eyes because if you're alternating between a black screen and a white screen, it's just going to be so annoying. So I was just like, no, we got to get rid of that. But then I got rid of it, and I was like, now it looks bland again. So then I was just like, okay, I looked at my VS Code theme and saw that I really liked it, so I took the exact same color, and then I put some gradients in. Took the gradients from the Figma community library, which is like a library of public files like these. Well, this is not public, but like people have public files, and I just kind of edited the gradient, incorporated to my design. I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. And then yeah, so this is the type of stuff that you can design in Figma. And just feel free to look at the video if you want to see like designs in action. And now I can show you some things about front-end development. So if you have this design, it's like, now how do I code it? And this is exactly how you code it. So on my Instagram, I post a lot of like tech content. I did one post that's related to front-end web development, like and how I learned it. And this is going to be the resources that I use. So scrolling down here, this guide, I'll actually, you know what, I'll send this guide right now. I post really weird stuff. I have more tutorials than just these, but these were like the main things that really got my start in my coding when I just learned how to touch type with all 10 fingers without looking down at the keyboard. So I did Traversing Media is really good for HTML, CSS. I also did the Code Academy certification course, and I was able to put that on my LinkedIn profile, so that's a bonus. And then I also did the Free Code Camp 5-hour React tutorial. And then I just did like hackathons and stuff. So it's really about learning and then applying. So if YouTube and like was it like visual like tutorials and visual learning is good for you, then I'd totally recommend that. And now here, just for the final thing, I'm going to present quickly the personal website. So this is what it looks like when it's designed, and then this is what it looks like when it's coded. So basically, I just kind of, I initially coded this with React, which is like a dynamic programming library that allows you to separate things into components when you're building a website, basically making it easier to build a website, but also React is like a little bit more complex. But eventually, like, there were security issues, so I had to switch to static site HTML, CSS. But yeah, this is basically something that you can build for yourself. Like, you can totally, anyone can build this type of thing. So yeah, and having a personal website is really good. Like when you're, just in general, when you're branding yourself, it'll show in your search results. Like now when I look up my name, Skylar Basco, I think it's like one of the first search results that pops up. But it's good so that you can have more of that like personability. Like when you're applying to different internships or jobs, you have that extra bit of like, project, and that also tells a lot about you. So that's an example of what you can build. I'm gonna actually send this link in the chat here to my personal website. and you can like feel free to check that out. But the YouTube video that I sent earlier, that the one sent at 8:19 p.m., that one is the one where I just talked about how I actually developed it. And then the last slide is just my contact information. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. I know we're going to go into the next presenter, but if you want to connect with me, here are some of my socials. I'll send the rest of them in the chat right now. So, okay. But yeah, well, I'll send the rest in the chat while the next presenter is going to be presenting.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Skylar. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to Gent.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Gent Durga, the co-founder of Gardeneer. So Gardeneer is an online marketplace for plants. So we are eBay, but only focus on plants. Okay, so for I'm just a bit about myself. I type with 2 fingers, by the way. Skylar. I wish
no, that's cool. That's cool too.
I wish I had the time to actually learn how to type with 10 fingers, but no, I didn't have time for that, unfortunately. But I do hire people with that capability of typing with 10 fingers. So I'm originally from Indonesia, not born in the US. I have accents. And I first went to the United States for college. I went to Purdue University for 4 years there to get my bachelor degree in industrial engineering. Before I then pursue to get my master degree in also industrial engineering at Stanford. Since graduated from Stanford, I never wanted to go back to Indiana where it's cold. So I'm just spoiled and love California weather. So Gardeneer was first started about 4 years ago, and I can tell you about the story later on of how we started this business. But as I mentioned, it's an online marketplace for plants for those who are plant hobbyists, who love plants, and unlike other e-commerce, plants, they grow in value. So, for example, if I grow plants and then I sell the plants to you, then now you started growing plants, right? As opposed to if I sell a car, right, to somebody, then that car's value is going to decline. It become from new car become used car. That's never the case with plants because it always grows. And that changed the whole e-commerce dynamic because then whoever I sell it to, a buyer can then become a seller also and sell their plants back to the platform. So that's a bit about Gardeneer. And we can go to the next page, maybe, Joe. So in today's talk, I'm gonna go through several topics, starting with our story, and then our vision and mission, what we're really after, and Gardeneer culture, how is it inside the company, some internship program that we offer, in case any of you are interested, and then also an example of the project that we did in our internship last year. Okay, so we can start with the story. So we started 2017. Startups usually start their company out of their garage, like full garage, but we started ours from our backyard. So my wife, Leonie, who is our co-founder, loves growing succulents, and we started really as like a gig at our son's school, where we offer succulent arrangement, selling succulent arrangements just more for fun, and to support the school as well. And then we just surprised like how much interest that people have in plants. So we are like, so we are not the only one who love plants. So we started selling our succulents. Actually, we grow from our own backyard in the flea market, in other markets, and one thing led to another. Other neighbors actually asking, "Hey, can we sell with you? Can we do this event together?" So we hold like host our own events. Actually, we call it the Garden of Plant Market. Now actually going on like every month. If you are interested in plants, you should definitely stop by one of our events. We have over 200 growers now selling on our platform with over 10,000 users, plant hobbies like myself. We use the platform. So this again is interesting because I'm a tech person. I'm not actually a plant. I was not a plant person, and Leonie, who is my wife, is very passionate with plants. So we combine our interests. I'm interested in technology and hers in plants, and we put something together that combines both of our skills. Each of us have different perspective of how we solve problems, and that's will become interesting because we're applying the knowledge that you learn in school or from your past work experience to something totally new, right? So the goal, you can go to the next slide, Joe, is for us to make plants accessible to all. A lot of people not very familiar with plants and how to grow plants, what they call it, especially among the young generations. Our goal is really to make it easy, right, for anyone to learn how to grow plants. Plants are, there are like 300,000 species of plants in the world identified by people. And they keep growing every year. I mean, this is the known one. So there's so many unknowns about plants that they're not organized. The information is not organized in any way. Not on the internet also, it's not very good. Our goal is to organize all this information, make it available for all of us. A lot of the knowledge, the older generations, they have the experience, they have the knowledge of how to grow plants, but unfortunately, they're never shared with the young ones. So we want to bridge that gap between the older and the younger generations, so we can start becoming farmers again, right? So that's what we are aiming for. And then we go to the next slide, Joe. Yeah, so then they led us to talking about the culture that we kind of want to have in our company, because company is really comprised of people, right? We want people who share the same vision, the same mission, to have the same, sharing the same culture. So this is what we really think is important in building a business. First is, we want to get our hands dirty. I mean, literally, I never touched like soil before now. I have to get my the dirt going into my fingernails and gets really dirty, right? But this is also important because we are looking for people who are not only talking, right? But we walk the talk, right? So we really make things happen. I'm not like just bossing people around. I don't want anyone to have that sort of culture, like, hey, I'm just talking and then not doing the work. So that's number one that I want to get across. Like, if you are that type of person, I think that's really what we're looking for. And similarly, and also the second point, our culture is we are down to earth, we are honest and transparent. We don't hide anything, right? So when I sell plants, for example, I tell them, like, this is very hard to care for plants. Like, do you have the knowledge and the experience to care for these plants? Because otherwise I'd rather not sell it to you, right? So we have that kind of culture, not just like making money, right? So a lot of, if you look at the retailers, like Home Depot, they don't really care. I mean, like, you kill your plants, or they sell their plants with bugs or with pests. They'll give your money back, but these are the things that we value in Gardeneries. We just don't sell plants like that, and I carry it throughout the organizations, like how we do our activities on day to day. Okay. And then third one is scrappy. So we do a lot of composting. So composting, by definition, is to turn garbage into something valuable. That means really say something about our culture of being resourceful. We don't waste things. We don't just get the money from an investor and spending it all, for example. So we are really careful with how we use resources. Okay. And I want everybody to have the same view as well, right? So, and that's quite important for us as well. And lastly, we give back to Earth. So we put sustainability value at the center of our business. Because without you realizing, when you care for plants, you started to question like how the plants are good for the environment. And change your mindset. Like, you start to think about, okay, if I use poison, pesticides, to get rid of the bugs from my plants, then I'm gonna start, poisoning the environment as well. So I rather use something more organic and safe for the environment. You don't want to kill all the bugs. You want only target, like, for example, the pests, right? The one that you don't want. But you don't want to kill the good bugs, like the ladybugs are good for the environment. So we have that mentality of people that care about the environment. And I think promoting sustainability is quite important in our mission as well. And then those are the values that in our gardening culture. And then next is, I'm going to describe about our internship program. So we had internship program that we offer actually throughout the year, but mostly in the summer. A lot of these interns, they are high schoolers. Some are college students as well. They help from marketing to sales to growing plants to making content, editing, making graphics, all kind of internships. I really emphasize that we are believing in well-rounded person. not only like coding behind the desk, but also get your hands dirty and talk to your end customers, right? To understand what the actual problem is. You cannot just be behind the desk. So we really encourage all the interns to take this opportunity to understand the real problem. And you can see like these guys in the picture, like cleaning the floor of our. It's a SF Cactus and Succulent Society event actually, where we help all the plant people organize a plant show event. So the next one is an example of one of the projects in our internship program, where we have two high schoolers work on building this grow bin. So the idea is we want to grow plants indoor in the closed container, but the closed container had to be controlled in terms of humidity, temperature, and lights. Okay, so we use sensors, Arduino for integrating that with the fan to make sure we have air circulation inside, so that it decreases the humidity when it detects it's too high. So we experimented a lot. I mean, as a gardener, by the way, is short for garden entrepreneur, right? So we always try different things, ideas to implement and try to see if it's something that can solve our problem. So at the end of the 3 months, these guys they come up with a prototype, full prototype of the grow bin that can self-regulate the humidity. The fan is turning on automatically, and turning off on and off automatically based on the sensors. It may look simple, but it's actually there's a lot of problems that they have to solve along the way. So yeah, at the end, the internships is a great project actually that we had last year. So I just stop right there. I think I ran out of time probably, and just give opportunities for anyone to ask me any questions or ask Skylar any questions.
Yeah, so the people who signed up for this event, they submitted questions for both of you, so I'm just going to be switching off between the questions. So the first question was for Skylar. It was, have you experienced difficulty translating your designs into coding when you're making websites?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I definitely struggled at first because I learned design before I learned how to code. So I had to figure out, first of all, starting with like what even is front-end development, like, or what tech stack to use when learning how to code. And thankfully there's so many resources out there and like that tell you if you want to build a website, you gotta just use HTML and CSS. You don't even need JavaScript for the first thing. So I was like, okay, gonna learn that. So learn HTML and CSS through the Traversing Media tutorials that I sent earlier in the guide. You can see it on my Instagram. And from there, I was able to build kind of a personal website. It was a really bad personal website. It wasn't the one that I sent on YouTube, but it was like a very scrappy version. But yeah, it was difficult at first because I was not familiar with that at all, and that was like kind of my first project. So like just having that transition was pretty difficult. But I think just first knowing like the design foundations, like I feel like you just first start out knowing how to design, because you need to kind of like, for the design journey, you need to like take longer in that, because anyone can learn like how to code and stuff, but like the design principles and just having an eye for it is like a lot more important if you want to have a very presentable personal website. So it's all about just the UI and kind of like what, just like keep in mind like how the visitor would like approach your website, what they would click on, what they would ignore, just like really keep the user in mind. That's why I really recommend just not only learning about how to design and how to code, but like thinking about the user and the experience that they go through when scrolling through your website.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I remember when I was even creating the Lookup website, I had a lot of problems with translating what I thought that I wanted the design to be in my head to actually coding it. And Gent, the next question is for you. They asked, how did you find people who were passionate about the same things you were when growing Gardener?
Oh yeah. So how do I find them? Well, through our events. So that's where all the plant people gather. Usually, believe it or not, a lot of the plant people, they are like social people also that love to be around other plants people. That's where how I get to know a lot of the employees, our employees, and also other things is, of course, through recommendations of friends and families. Because the hard part about starting your company is to get the right people. Not only getting people, but the right people, right? And the right people sometimes is very hard to get. You have to have the right skills, and you gotta trust them also, right? It's the next time. And have the same passion, vision, mission, right? Early employees are very hard to get, and that's why I encourage everyone to just start networking, make as many friends as we can.
Yeah, of course. I can definitely imagine you're talking about before even how you started Gardener and everything. And the next question is for Skylar, which was, how do you consider accessibility when designing websites?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a great question to keep in mind. So I would say, like in general, when you're thinking about accessibility, you can't really assume anything. So the first thing you have to do is just contact people, get them on a call, or send a survey, like do some sort of user interview, so that you understand the user that you're talking to that pertains to the website that you're building. You can't really make the assumption like on your own, unless it's your personal website. That's like a different story. That's something that you want to convey with your creative vision. But like if you're building a product for a nonprofit or a startup or something like that, it's definitely important to interview that startup's like potential users or that nonprofit's potential users as well, community members, things like that, so that you have an understanding of their pain points and just understanding like why they're visiting your website is really important for accessibility, and just also noticing like you can, in addition to a user research interview, which is more like what are the problems you face, you can do a usability testing interview where after you build your website, you have them navigate through them, and if you see that they're struggling to navigate through certain parts of their website, that's when you know that that part of the website needs to be improved on in terms of accessibility. So you can definitely interview people with different accessibility needs, and from there kind of just see what they're struggling most with when like trying to find certain things on the web app that you built.
Yeah, that was a great answer. And the last question was for Gent, how do you apply your knowledge in tech to Gardener?
So the skills that I have is mostly how to build technology. I'm actually, before starting Gardener, actually I was a financial engineer, so I do a lot of math, basically. And when applying my skills to Gardeners, we are, as much as you think we are only marketplace, but we actually more like a data company. Actually, we collect a lot of data about clients, right? So we are starting to get data, and the data is then used to make your system smarter. Now there's like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all that cool stuff that we can then apply to the data we have. But the critical part is, of course, how do you collect the right data, right? And you have to figure that out. So I use a lot of the skills I learned from my engineering side of things to garden here. So I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, and then we had one general question, which was after high school or in college, how did you decide what career path you wanted to go for?
For me?
Yeah, anyone can answer.
I can tell you, I mean, a lot of times you don't know what you want to do, but my advice is take risk while you're young. Start a company or start something that is that you really want to do. Because if you wait until a later time, then you have more and more liabilities. Once you get married and you have kids, then that's it. You're really stuck. Unless you're crazy like me, that started a company and had a family. But yeah, it's easier when you're younger, right? So you take risks. Whatever it is that interests you, you just do it and learn as much as possible from that and make a lot of friends.
Yeah, for sure. I can answer this one too. So I just got out of high school like a year ago. So I graduated in 2021, summer 2021. So yeah, after that, I will be honest, I was really confused. I didn't know what path to go into. So like basically, like if you're in high school right now, like you're fine. Like some people still figuring it out in college, and even right now I'm still figuring it out. Like I remember summer before college, like I was experimenting with design. I would like go on LinkedIn and be like to different UX design interns, hey, can we go on a coffee chat? And that really helped me like explore my interest in design, like reaching out to people on LinkedIn and like networking and just asking about their experiences really helped. And yeah, just kind of like learning new skills. Like take the summer in between, like after you're done with high school and college, to really just explore all the things that you didn't have time to explore during your high school years, because that was like really important. It was like learning how to type and then learning how to design even more and learning how to code. Those were like three of the most important things that helped me like really get a foundation in freshman year. So freshman year, I was like initially undeclared, but then like I declared a CS major. I thought I was going to go into design, but like I think I still want to merge two interests together, and I'm still figuring out. I don't even know if I want to be a PM or a UX designer or SWE or just work along my YouTube channel, but still for figuring it out. But just use your as Gan said, like just take a lot of risks and learn new skills, especially like hard skills that are very valuable and in the industry. Like hard skills are definitely important. Maybe you don't have to learn how to code necessarily, but I think just learning skills that are valuable to other people, like whether it be designing, marketing, copywriting, coding, just beyond the soft skills, so that like when you enter kind of like the whole thing of applying to internships, you'll have skills that are in a sense like harder to replace. So just try something new, like learn on YouTube something and you'll figure it out piece by piece. But
Okay, so that was pretty much it for the Q&A portion. So thank you so much, Gant and Skylar, for speaking at this event, and thank you to everyone who came.